How did we come to an arrangement with this particular company? Give us the history of that, please. Hold my time.
Sure. Well, as indicated in my opening remarks, this dates back to the original Staples negotiation. They, at the time, wanted commercial signage rights at the convention center. The city said absolutely not. They were also concerned that the city would sell rights on the convention center that would compete with their sponsorships and how they financed the arena. So both sides agreed at the time that neither could do commercial signage on either the arena or on the convention center. And both sides agreed that we would be back here someday as the hotel was developed and as LA Live proceeded to develop a commercial signage proposal that would work for both entities.
Is the city attorney here? Somebody from the city attorney's office who can comment on this deal that was cut 12 years ago? Anybody from the city attorney's office?
Well, certainly nobody that was here 12 years ago, but
Well,
Marilyn Garcia is here from city attorney.
just
yes.
because somebody made a deal 12 years ago, it might be a bad deal. You know, like a lot of other things in life, we learn by experiences. I mean, is there any opportunity to throw this out to competitive bidding?
No, there is not. The city does not. The city contractually agreed 12 years ago that it would need AEG. It would need to work with AEG to do commercial signage on the convention center.
Okay, is that city attorney?
I'm the city attorney who assisted
Great.
with the business negotiations. I wasn't here 12 years ago, but I've read the document that gave the right, where the rights were set
Excellent.
out.
Your name for the record and explain it to
Marilyn
us.
Garcia.
Thank you, Marilyn. Go ahead, explain it to us.
Well, one of the documents that was executed by the city and AEG or an affiliate sets out that that the city cannot sell any rights on the surface of the convention center to anyone else. So the only entity that could have that the city could sell them to would be AEG. In other
Can't we
words,
reconsider that? And it's a new day, like climate change is a new day. Isn't there an ability for us to reflect on it and say enough is enough and maybe put it out to competitive bidding? Or is that impossible?
well, the city is already obligated not to sell it to anybody else. You could leave it blank, but you can't sell that to anyone else.
So we can't, under any circumstances. We get a lawsuit or something.
Well, I don't have the agreement in front of me to say if it's perpetual or whatever. Is it perpetual? I mean, but in general, those rights are set already in the contract.
It's for the term of the Staples lease, which has about another 45 years to go.
Okay, when we went before committee, it was 10 years, 10 years, 10 years, and I said, that's too much. I mean, we need to reevaluate, take a deep breath. Now, you've just said that you came back to us and said it could be 5 years, 5 years, 5 years, 5 years. But why can't the first 10 years be 5 years, 5 years, rather than a full 10 years?
Because they need the first 10 years in order to sell to their district sponsors to back the city's $2 million guarantee.
That's our opinion. What about the money itself, cash flow? I mean, this is a huge opportunity for them. You heard one of the speakers say it's like 78 real billboards. I mean, could this not be a tremendously lucrative opportunity for them, locking them in with such a dollar figure, which seems minimal to me? I know there's no risk in our part. It's money, and we love money. We need it. We're in a budget deficit. But isn't there any opportunity to renegotiate in 5 years that kind of an opportunity so that maybe it could be more money for the city?
Well, Mr. Rosendahl, that is what's before you. After the first 10 years...
10 years, I know, but how about 5 years? I don't buy this 10 years.
No, they will not accept anything less than the initial 10-year period, because remember, they're incurring all of the costs to install these signs, all of the costs to maintain them, all of the costs in order to develop the signage program and to sell them. They need those 10 years to back the guarantee.
Okay, well, let me just ask you this question. Are we subsidizing them in a lot of other projects, this particular group, over $200 million, what I read in the paper? Is that true?
There is the hotel, the convention hotel, the city did agree to allow them to keep their hotel tax for a period of 25 years, I believe, and it is approximately $270 million. 25
years. They don't have to pay bed tax. Is that right?
Yes, but as we went through when that deal was initially approved, This is bed tax we would not otherwise receive. The city
I
general fund.
understand all that
is,
chicken
you
and
know,
egg and all that, but boy, that's a sweetheart deal as far as I'm concerned, giving them 25 years of the bed tax. But let me get into a more specific safety issue. I take that 10 to the 110 and come downtown 3 times, 4 or 5 times a week, and at night as well. What about the fear that some of us have that it will be a safety issue, that will be bright lighted? We're not Times Square in the middle of the freeway, to be honest with you. I'd rather have it not on the freeway. Could we have some safety issues that we haven't addressed?
Those issues are exactly what are going to be addressed in the planning process, which is not before you. They're going to have to address that in the CEQA. They're going to have to address that to the community. They're going to have to address that in their Caltrans permit. They're going to have to address that before the Planning Commission and ultimately before Mr. Reyes' commission and the council. So that is not before you today. What is before you today is a business deal that would enable them to proceed with the planning process and environmental clearances to get the entitlements to do the signs.
I understand. And I know some of my colleagues said it's a great business deal. I've been a businessman. I don't think it's a great business deal for the city at all. I think it's a great business deal for this private vendor. And I know we can't react any more than that, but by saying that. And I feel without the flexibility of 5 years to revisit it, to look at cash flow, to look at money, we've given them an opportunity from a business deal standpoint. I don't blame the private sector. That's their jobs, get the best they can. But we represent the people. And I don't think it's a good deal for the city.